I'm Jennifer Angel. This is my video overview for the week November the 17th. Alright, so first of all I'm going to go through and do a quick overview of what's coming up for this week, and then I'm going to just do a highlight, a snapshot for each sign. And this is a format that I started over the last couple of weeks. I'll now be putting the time zones on there so it's easier for everybody, and I hope that's working for you, because it certainly cuts down the time for me to be processing one long video rather than 12 of them. So let's see how we go. All right, so let's have a look. We have a new moon this week. It's not until the end of the week on the 22nd. It's in the sign of Sagittarius. There's quite a bit of activity in Sagittarius this week. So the sun is going to move in there on the 22nd and join the moon. And the new moon is a great time because it always signifies new beginnings. And certainly in a sign of Sagittarius, a freedom-loving, visionary, a very optimistic energy sign, then it's a great time to try and think about, what you want to achieve in life, and think of the positive and rather than the negative. And I know this time of year, excuse me, then we're sort of looking at, well, what happened to the year, first of all, and then we're looking at, well, how did we fare this year? I mean, did we keep any of our New Year resolutions? And if we did goals, then how do we go on that? Well, you know what, it doesn't really matter, because every day is a new day, and every day provides us with a chance to do it differently and better. So let's just try to look forward and not back in that sense. Now, right on the start of the week, on the 16th and 17th, Venus is also going to move into the sign of Sagittarius. This is a very independent position for Venus, and excuse me, so you want to be sort of careful of not locking people down too much. Let go of control, says the Capricorn. So, as Capricorns love to have everything organized and in control, it's certainly one of the life lessons I'm working on at the moment, is to try and let go of control a bit, because when you do have everything so controlled to the minute detail, then what it can do is it can limit your life. Okay, so if you want to open life up, then do not be so limiting and really go through that limited ceiling, that invisible ceiling. Then you want to try and let go of how you feel things should be. Okay, easier said than done, particularly for all us Capricorns and earth signs. So there you go, life is full of lessons, isn't it? On the 18th, excuse me, I don't know what's going on with my throat today. We have the sun is going to conjunct be same sign, same degree as Saturn, and this is in sign of Scorpio before it moves into Sagittarius a few days later. So this is almost excuse me again, this is almost like a stop-go type vibration. And you want to be careful of not getting too involved in coulds and shoulds. So the sun really opens up opportunities of what you could be doing, but Saturn is caution and a little bit limiting in that sense, and it wants to sort of take a step back and say, well, I could be doing this, but maybe I should be doing this. So, being a little bit just aware of that. And when it comes to the end, then you want to follow your heart and do what you think is best for you, as long as it's not purposely going to hurt someone else. Venus is going to square Neptune, so this is quite a restless energy. So, and that's on the 20th. So following that conjunction between the sun and Saturn. So, don't get too caught up with, as I said, what you feel you could or you should do. This is a rather, fast transit is, you know, a lot faster than Neptune. It's going to last, it's a 2-week transit either side at the most. So, you know, a week from the 20th, the 5th or 26th or so, we're really out of that. So, you know, just live through that little restlessness, if you can, without making too many reactive decisions. And really what it does is it gives you a chance just to reflect and to see, you know, what you're doing, what you want to do, and, you know, do you want to change directions and so on. Then on the 21st, we've got communication planet Mercury in a sextile, which is a favorable aspect with Mars. So, you know, this is going to want to, you're going to want to make quick decisions, and with that restlessness there, it's really best if you try to take a step back and be thoughtful rather than you know, make a rash, impulsive decision which you can later regret. And then to finish the week off, we have communication planet Mercury again in a square with Jupiter. And this is, you know, a nice sort of optimistic, even though it's a square, it's still an optimistic energy, but it can bring in like exaggeration a little bit. So you want to like use your common sense, tune into your instincts. Remember that rule that says if it seems too good to be true, then guess what? It probably is. Okay, so a little bit of common sense to sort of come in there. To round the week off. But as always, the week is full of supportive and challenging aspects. So let's have a quick look now what's happening to each sign. For Aries, there's a lot of energy in your solar 8th house. So people can come forward over this period to help you, particularly with business, because we've got Mars and Pluto still sitting there in your solar 10th house. So don't be surprised. The connections that you make now are very, very important. So, you know, be mindful of some people just in your life for a reason and for a purpose, and they could be there to just connect you with somebody influential. Now, Venus is going to be sitting in your 9th house, which allows you to just get in touch with what you want your relationships to be like, okay? And it doesn't matter what society says or what someone else does. Even an unconventional relationship can work if it's okay with both parties. If you're separated from your loved one, well, you know, we're lucky right in our world right now that electronics allow us to keep in touch with people. So, but it's up to you to make the effort, Aries, okay? Taurus, right opposite you there, there's an abundance of activity. This is your solar 7th house, all to do with your relationships. There's also activity in your home area as well, so relationships and your home. People can also come out of the woodwork to help you. There's a new financial start coming for you. At first, it looks like someone will be, you know, lending a helping hand to help you more than you're going to be able to give back. But make no mistake, Taurus, there's no such thing as a free lunch. At some point or another, you're going to have to make it up for them, okay? So you want to just make that clear that you understand that, all right? Now, Venus is in this area of your 8th house as well. So there's activity going on in the bedroom and the boardroom this week. So lucky for you. All right. Now, Gemini, right opposite you in your 7th house of relationships, we have the new moon. So this is like a new start happening in your life. Venus moves into this area of your chart on the 17th, so earlier in the week. So if you're looking for love, then certainly this is one of the times in the year that you can, you know, can cross the path. If you're already in a relationship, then it's a good time to just focus on that relationship a little bit more. And remember, all relationships take work. It's a myth that relationships don't take any work. It really is. And, you know, as you grow and evolve, then so does your relationship. And that's where you really need to step up and, you know, put the work in. A lot of activity in your business, your day-to-day area of business. Also need to look after your health, put some focus on that area as well. And siblings are likely to reach out to you during this week as well, so keep your schedule a little bit flexible. Now, Cancer, now we still have that Mars-Pluto connection happening right opposite. This is pretty heavy duty in the relationship area. So it's like if you've got an issue to deal with, then it may not even be with anybody. It might be coming up from the past or even from your childhood. Then this is a time to really, look at that, deal with it, bring it out and air it, and, find out how you can love it and appreciate the positive and the negative, because quite often it's easy for us to see the negative, not so easy to see the positive. And when you can do that, you can really clear the energy, and that means it's not going to come up again for you. Okay, connections with business are very good for you at the moment. With we've got Venus and new moon in this area of your chart. It's a good time to also update or put a bit more attention on your personal presentation. So if you can give your image an overhaul and make it that wow image, or even more wow than it is, then that's a great thing to do right now. Let's not forget, your first impressions really do count, whether you think they should or not. The fact is that they do. People can sum you up in an instant before they've even spoken to you. So you want to make sure, particularly when it's to do with business, and love, that you're putting across the image that you want to portray. Now, with money, you want to read the fine print. If there's any documents that you're looking at and signing that have got a financial outcome to them, don't skim over it. It's your responsibility to look through it, make sure you give it the time and energy and the detailed look over that it deserves. You don't want to have any regrets later, that's for sure. Now, Leo. Now, you're likely to be very busy at the moment, Leo. Not that you're not usually, but you want to be very careful of how you spend your time, okay? So just because somebody knocks at your door or demands your attention or wants an answer, doesn't mean to say you have to comply, in the time frame that they want, unless they're your boss, of course, and that might be, a different matter. But the more that you can manage your time, the more productive you can be at the moment. And that's, totally up to you. Now, Venus is in, and the new moon is in your solar fifth house. This is very good for connections, business and personal. However, it is one of the areas of the star chart that love affairs can begin. So if you are looking for love, then certainly you want to get out to start networking, and it's not out of the realms of possibilities that you could meet somebody associated with your work. Your family, your home, your domestic area of your life is also going to want to demand attention this week as well. Okay, so somebody's likely to reach out to you because you're the person in the clan that not just sees the problems, but you can turn a problem around and find a solution, okay? And that's why people come to you. All right, Virgo. So new start around family, Virgo. Their looks. You want to be, tune into your instincts. Be a little bit strategic on how you have communications. Remember, listening and talking are both part of effective communicating. So sometimes when you step back and let someone else do the talking, then they can reveal all sorts of things that can be very, let you know where they really stand and what they're really going through, because you don't really know what people are going through, what sort of day they've had, or what else is happening in their life. I mean, it certainly doesn't you know, iron out any bad behavior, but at least if you know what someone's going through, then you can, you know, cut them a little bit of slack. And I feel that's very relevant for you right now. Be careful when you're working in a team environment. Certainly this is, you know, you can take over, you're capable of taking over, and it's almost like you need the solo time, Virgo, to be able to get ideas and concepts in place properly, but it comes together with a team, and you want to just, once again, if you need more information, then ask more questions rather than talking. Okay, so it's very much this week, I feel, for you to take a step back and let other people reveal their game plan to you, and that, you know, gives you a whole lot more power. All right, so Libra is next, and Libra, there's monetary issues plus family plus siblings come in for you this week. Now, if you've had a bit of an upset with siblings recently, then that can straighten itself out this week in some way. It's almost like a new start. You may not be totally happy with the way that it starts, but it does give you an opportunity to say, okay, fine, we even agree to disagree, or you can come to a conclusion which gives you a platform to move forward on, which is a good thing, okay? And Venus moves into this area of your chart as well, and that Venus being your ruling planet, that helps you just to be a little bit more amicable with what's going on. Monetary discussions, be, you know, careful how you handle them. Make sure that, once again, same for you, as I just said for one of the other sides, you want to look over a document with a fine eye. Don't ignore the small print. Make sure what you're signing, make sure that you know what you're getting into. People are prone to exaggerate, you know, so you want to be sure and get all the facts and figures down, and nobody's better than doing the analysis and the pros and cons than you, Libra. Okay, so Scorpio, there's quite a lot of activity in your sign still, Scorpio. Some of that activity is moving to the next sign, which is your solar second house. So this position is about money and possessions. There's a news out there. If you're, you know, waiting for some news to come through or some extra cash, then it certainly looks like that can happen over this next month and be kicked off from this week. Certainly towards the end of this week, because the new moon is in this position for you on the 22nd. Venus is in here as well. So with Venus, it's an indication. Let's not forget that Venus is a ruler of love and money. So it's an indication that your financial situation can improve, but she's the temptress, so be careful. You don't want to spend the money before it's banked. This is also a position where you want to be mindful of your self-worth. So it's almost like how much you feel you are worth is how much you will receive. So if you need to do some inner work on that level to clear some blockages, this is the week to focus on that. Okay, excuse me. So Sagittarius, your annual new moon on the 22nd. So right at the end of the week, the start of the weekend, so the sun and the moon are going to be in the same position at the same degree. Venus moves into your sign also earlier in the week on the 17th, and pretty soon Mercury, which is sitting in the sign before you, is going to move in as well. So this is like a hot time for you. We're coming up to your birthday month. and it's a time for you to really take stock and, you know, think about where you are, where you want to be, and how you're going to get there. So really to think about your goals and to set the goals and start to think about what you didn't achieve for this year and what you want to sort of pick up and delete or review and reset those goals and heartfelt aspirations for 2015. Yay, 2015. Wow, it's time. It just seems like yesterday when we had year 2000. Anyway, I think that's a fact that I'm getting older. Time is sort of speeding up. All right, so Venus in your sign. This is like one of the times in the year where love really can just come and tap on your heart, but you have to be ready for love. It's all right that it's, you know, it's there knocking on your door, but there is a bit of restlessness this week. We have got Venus square Neptune, so if you're in a relationship and it's not going the way that you want, then this is perhaps a time when you can make some alterations, or perhaps even a make it or a break it period as well. But, you know, certainly if there's something good, then don't let a moment of restlessness, you know, throw the baby out with the bathwater, as they say. You want to work through it. And recognize that all relationships need some level of compromise and some level of work, okay? And if you want to have that connection of a relationship in your life, then generally you're going to have to make some compromise and give up just maybe a little of your independence and freedom. But it is who you are, Sagittarius, so someone who wants to curtail your freedom totally, of course, is not ever going to be suitable for you, okay? So you need to work out where that fine line of compromise is, of where you can go. Now, on a monetary note, be careful that any business you get involved in with Mars sitting there in your solar second house, that it's calculated risk, okay? Not sort of rash and impulsive risk. All right, so Capricorn, we've still got Mars, Pluto in your sign. These two are pretty heavy-duty planets, and together they can really trigger off all sorts of feelings and things that are coming up for you. You want to deal with them, feel them, intensify them so you can let them go, because what happens if you just feel that you're too busy and you keep pushing them down, then they're going to come up at some point, and until they do, then you're going to have some blocked energy. There's also an abundance of activity starting to move out now, but still in the sign of Scorpio, which helps all that psychological psyche business to sort of come up, which is deep-seated emotional issues, and it's in your solar 11th house, so that brings you know, about friends and relationships that you're having with people. It's also a monetary position in the old school astrology. So if you've got issues with some money, I mean, as I just you know, said to one of the signs, the solar second house, which these planets are all moving around to in time, is really about how deserving you feel of what you want in life and what you attract in life. So but certainly we don't have anything in your solar second house at the moment, but it is in your sign and sitting in that sign of Scorpio, which is just digging in deep to uncover. So there's a little bit of self-work to be going on with Capricorn at the moment, particularly as in 1 month time you're going to have your new moon in your sign, and so this is a great time to sort of think about your goals and start setting them and getting them in a place as well, okay? All right, so Aquarius, So right there behind you, in the sign before you, Aquarius, we've got Pluto and Mars in the sign of Capricorn. This is going to trigger your intuition. You want to pay really attention to what your intuition is coming up with and trying to tell you right now. Okay, it won't let you down if you listen to it. Try to, tune into it and sit quietly for, even 10 minutes every morning or whenever the time is suitable for you. It's about sitting in silence and just getting in touch with your inner self, of how you feel, and to clear the clutter, okay? Because there's a lot of activity going on in your 10th and the 11th house at the moment as well. So the 10th house is all about your career, your life purpose, and right at the start of the week on the 18th, the Sun and Saturn are both in this area, and that's going to make you feel a little bit restless, a little bit cautious about. It's a conjunction between the Sun and Saturn that I spoke about in the overview at the start of this video, and it's almost a little bit of, oh, well, I could do this, but I should do this. So you want to just get in touch with what it is that you want to do. Now, right opposite you is Jupiter still. There is at the end of the week a square between Jupiter and communication planet Mercury. You want to be careful of exaggerations or being overly optimistic or over dramatizing something that's going on in your personal life. Okay, so keep life in perspective. Okay, so lucky last, Pisces. So Pisces, what's going on for you this week is we've got that new moon in your area of your solar 10th house, all in your area of career. Let me just move out of that light a little bit. And this is a new start in your career. So if you've been waiting for things to come through, okay, so this is a week that it can start to happen for you. You can start to feel that things are finally coming into order and finally starting to shift. Okay, now there's a balance here of you taking control of things and of you getting out of your own way and letting life take control and do its own thing. So you don't want to leave everything up to fate, but you want to get out of your own way as well. So try not to hold on to the control factor too much. Okay, and you're a highly intuitive sign, but you're also a highly analytical sign. Okay, you know what I'm saying. So if you can get a balance between the analytics and the intuition, then that's your key. What else? Let's have a look at what else. I mean, we've got Venus is in that solar 10th house as well, moving in there on the 17th. It's been in your 9th house. So as far as love is concerned, you could actually meet somebody within your industry, but it's important for you to feel right about a love association. And for you to feel right about that, Pisces, it needs to be mind, body, spirit. All needs to come together, okay? You can't have one without the other. It all has to click. But don't sit back and wait for it to happen. You don't want to miss out on someone. When you find someone that you have that click with, well, you know what? You want to grasp it, because a true love doesn't come around every day. So don't let it out of your sight, all right? All right, so have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye for now.